Hey, what's up YouTube? This is Youthman. In this video, I'll be doing a review of Valencia's Oxford home theater seats, as well as comparing it to their Tuscany seats. Now, before we jump into the video, if you're into home theater, audio, and video, hit that subscribe button. And don't forget to hit that bell notification so that you'll be notified when the next video drops. All right, guys, I want to give a big thanks to Valencia for sending me the Oxford theater seats to review for you guys, as well as for sponsoring this video. Now, about 3 months ago, Valencia sent me their Tuscany theater seats, and that's what I'm sitting here in the front row. I absolutely love these theater seats. They're incredibly soft. They've got some great features and are a huge upgrade to my original theater seats. If you haven't checked out that video, I'll post a link to it right up here, as well as in the description below. Be sure to go watch that video on the Tuscany theater seats. So in this video, we'll be doing an unboxing as well as showing you the highlights and the features. So enough talking, let's get to unboxing. The Oxfords come in 3 separate boxes, 2 large boxes and a smaller box. The first thing you'll want to do is flip the box upside down. Once you have it upside down, go ahead and cut the box open, fold the flaps out, and flip the box back right side up. From there, you'll just lift the box straight up and toss it to the side. Assembly is incredibly easy. Each seat comes in 2 separate parts. You have the base as one part and then the back as the other. Each one of those is wrapped in a white fabric to protect them during shipping. The Oxford theater seats are very easy to assemble, only took me about 15 minutes. The first step is to attach the back part of the seat to the base. Simply align the 2 metal brackets and press down on the seat until you hear a click. Inside the armrest, you'll find the power supply. Take the power supply and connect it to the connector on the bottom of the back of the unit. And then press the clip until you hear it click to secure it in place. On the rear of the seat, you'll need to connect the top part of the seat to the base. And then press the clip until you hear it click to secure it in place. Once you have those connected, take the back flap, fold it under the bottom, and it secures with Velcro. To secure the chairs to each other, simply lift up on one side of the chair, slide it over into the grooves, and it will snap in place. And here on the other side of the seat, you can see the 2 metal posts that will align with the 2 metal brackets. Attached to the back of the seat, you'll find a small box. Open up the box and you'll find a power supply that will be used to provide power to the 2 lights in the headrest. Simply attach the power supply to the cable on the back of the upper seat, plug that into the wall, and there's a second power cable that will provide power to the power strip that's built into the seat, as well as the USB ports. Attach the seat back to the bottom base just like you did before, give it a firm push until you hear the clicks, and assemble the 3rd seat just like you did with the first 2 seats. Plug each chair into the wall and you're ready to go. On each of the outer seats, you'll find a cup holder with some controls. To turn on the theater seats, press and hold the power button for just a few seconds until you see the cup holders illuminate. To turn on and off the LED inside the cup holder, press the light button there. You can press it again to turn it back on. The next set of buttons allows you to recline the seats to a reclining position. Now, I noticed that the Oxfords recline a lot more than the Tuscany do. To go back to the upright position, press and hold the next button. On the other side, you have buttons for the headrest. To raise the headrest, you hit the 2nd button and hold it. And to go back down, you hit the one to the left of it. And over on the far right, if you hit the R button, it returns the chair to the upright position. Each one of the cup holders has a convenient USB port so that you can charge your phone. Now, one thing that makes the Oxford quite different than the Valencia is this middle seat. In the middle seat, you can lift up this headrest and you'll find 2 lights. There's a switch for each light, and you can angle those lights towards your reading area. So this is great if you're snuggled up on the couch and you're just reading a book and maybe you're not watching TV. Then if you pull down on this seat back, you'll find a tray table, 2 cup holders, as well as a charging station with 2 power supplies, as well as 2 USB ports. The Oxford can be configured in one of 2 ways. You can order it as a row of 2 with the center console and your choice of either premium air leather for $14.99 or with higher quality top grain Napa 11,000 leather for $24.99. If you need more seats, you can get it as a row of 3 with a drop down console with your choice of premium leather air for $19.99 or the higher quality top grain Napa 11,000 leather that I have in this setup for $28.99. The row of 2 measures 68.5 inches wide, while the row of 3 measures 88 inches wide, with both of them having a height of 45.5 inches and a depth of 32.5 when upright and 69 inches when reclined. All right, so now let's go ahead and compare some of the features of the Tuscany theater seats that are in the front row to the Oxford theater seats in the back row. The Tuscany theater seats, one of the things that you have the ability to do is add some features to each of the armrests. So right here we've got a tray table. You can use this to set a laptop on it, maybe your dinner or even a drink. I'd be careful to put a drink on here. That's really what the cup holders are for. For those of you that drink wine, there's also a wine holder that you can purchase separately that swivels and so easily carries your glass there. So that's one of the features. Another feature that you get with the Tuscany is LED lighting underneath. Now, although this looks pretty cool, one negative that I found of this is when I recline and the footrests are raised, the LED light, since they're facing upward, actually shines on my 150-inch screen. Now, having an LED light shine on your screen or on your TV is definitely not a good thing, but the easy solution to that is just turn off the foot LED lights with a touch of a button. And the other feature that the Tuscany has that the Oxford does not have is the lumbar support. So for those of you that need a lumbar support, the Tuscany does have that, but the Oxford does not. Now, the features that the Oxford has that the Tuscany does not is that fold down center console. Now, that's pretty slick given the fact that you have extra plug-ins as well as USB ports and the reading light. Another benefit of the Oxford is it is configured more like a couch than it is dedicated theater seating. And so it really looks great in a living room setup. You can also use it to lay down where you really couldn't do that with the Tuscany. So overall, the Tuscany and the Oxford theater seats are super cool. I love the feature set. I love the comfortability. The Napa leather, the 11,000 Napa leather is super, super soft. I really, really like that. It's got a pretty firm feel to it. It's not like you sit down and you sag in, which is good because it does give you plenty of back support and seat support, but it's not so rigid that it's uncomfortable. It's definitely a very comfortable feel, but has a little bit of firmness to it. Now, as with any product, you're gonna have some negatives. Now, with the Tuscany, some of those negatives to me would be having that LED light shine on my screen. But again, the easy solution there is just turn off the light in the cup holder. Now, speaking of cup holders in seats are awesome. Having LED lights in theater seats are really awesome. But what isn't awesome is having cup holders that don't fit a lot of my glasses. Because the LED ring isn't flush with the base of the cup holder, it has a narrower diameter than the top part of the cup holder. So sometimes when I place certain glasses in the cup holder, it doesn't stand upright. I'd love to see Valencia in the next rendition of their theater seats to be able to make that LED ring flush with the bottom so that it doesn't interfere with the cups. Now, the motors in both of these units are really, really quiet. But one thing that isn't as quiet is the leather when you recline. Whew, I feel better now. No, that wasn't me, that was the theater seats. Now, one thing I haven't tried yet is to get something like a leather softener or maybe some leather wipes to see if that will kind of smooth out the way that that leather touches. Now, I hear it mostly on the Tuscany, but I don't really hear it near as much on the Oxford. And maybe that's just the way that it's built. Maybe these are tighter fit than the Oxford are. So with the Oxford theater seats, I found only 3 negative things. Number 1 is the same thing with the cup holder. The LED ring at the bottom of the cup holder prevents some glasses from sitting vertically. Now, one thing I initially thought was a negative was the very first time I opened up the armrest, they didn't open up very far. And so as you can see here, there's not a lot of space in between there because it doesn't open all the way vertically. So all you have to do is just push it a little bit harder. What you're doing is compressing the leather that's on the back side. That's what's preventing it from lifting up all the way vertically. But if you just give it a little firm push, you're not gonna break anything. But just know that going into it, it's gonna seem like a negative when you first get them. And the only other negative that I found with the Oxford is I wish the seats actually kind of locked together a little bit tighter. The way I found this out is after I had assembled the theater seats, I sat down in this seat right here, and for whatever reason, I leaned to the right. And when I did, even though the theater seats are locked together, it still wants to come up, as you can see. And so I wish it kind of had a better locking mechanism for both sides. Now the other side does pretty much the same thing. It's a little bit different locking mechanism, but basically you have a slot and there's a bolt that slides down in that slot. So there's nothing above that bolt that keeps it locked into the slot. And so same thing there, if you were to lean to the outside, that chair is going to move on you. Now the last thing that could be considered a negative, when you go with the row of 3, you do not get the ability to recline this middle seat. And so the middle seat person is sitting there like this while the other 2 are nice and comfy reclined. So that could be a negative, but the flip side of that is you do get the ability to lay down on this versus the Tuscany, you do not. Now I've had my theater room for about 12 years, and from the beginning I've always had theater seats. I had leather seats up front, leather seats in the back. They were from 2 different manufacturers, but they were great. I enjoyed them for the time that I had them, but they were definitely getting older and they didn't have the feature set that these do. And so, man, I really, really like what Valencia has done to enhance that theater experience with the Valencia theater seats, their Tuscany, as well as the Oxford. So if you're interested in either one of these, I'll post links to it down in the description below. So if you're looking for theater seats for your home, whether it's a living room setup, a bedroom setup, a basement setup, or maybe a dedicated home theater like this, I definitely recommend checking out Valencia. Take a look at their website. They've got a ton of different options. They've got different price points. They've also got a bunch of different colors that you can use to kind of match your decor and your room. And so definitely check them out. I'll leave a link to their website down in the description below. Now I've got some really exciting reviews coming up for you, so make sure you're subscribed to the channel because I produce weekly content on home theater, audio, and video. And so if you're into that kind of thing, make sure you subscribe and hit that bell. And as always, you guys be blessed, and we'll catch you in the next video.